issue, and it's not cancer, it's not diabetes, it's obesity. And it's becoming a really personal issue now because a lot of people we know suffer from this issue. And so we're just going to take a look at what obesity is and what the world is doing. So, hold on. Why is it not? Oh, okay. All right, and then what it is and what the world says it is. Okay. So obesity is an excess of an amount of body fat. It's not an excess amount of weight, because weight can be gained by muscle, water, and bone, etc. So obesity can be defined is defined technically as an excess amount of body fat, but a lot of people have an issue with it because there's not an accurate way to measure your body fat. There's a body mass index, which if a person has a body mass index of at least 30, then they're considered obese. But body mass index doesn't take account muscle tone. It doesn't take account, loose muscle from before. It doesn't take account of all the other issues that a body has. It just measures body mass index. An obese person has 20% more body weight than they should. And then in actuality, there's really not an accurate way to measure obesity and if someone is obese. That's one of the really big issues of this topic. And U.S. statistics. Statistically, the U.S. obesity rate is 78 million adults and 12 million children. That is a lot of people. But like we said, there's not really a very accurate way to measure obesity. And so there's some people in that category that probably really aren't obese, but fall into the category of 20% more body fat or body mass index of 30, and all those kind of things. 2 out of every 3 adults suffer from obesity. So 2 out of every 3 adults suffer from having a body mass index of 30 or having 20% more body fat. That stat is steadily rising and quickly spreading throughout the younger generations. Like obesity, if you have 2 parents that are both obese, there's a very strong tendency that the child that they have is going to have a very strong inclination to be obese. It's just how genetics work. And then my question is this what we want? Is this what we want for the next generations coming up? Do we want them to be unhappy and look like this? I mean, and I don't think we do. I don't think they do. I don't think they want that for themselves. And so, is obesity a disease? This is a fun question. The definition of disease is a disorder of structure or function in a human or a particular quality, habit, or disposition regarded as adversely affecting a person or group of people. So from that definition, obesity falls into that category. It is a disorder of structure or function in a human, and it is formed from a particular quality, habit, or disposition regarded as adversely affecting a person or group of people. People eat too much, they don't exercise, all those kinds of things. Those are quality or habits or dispositions that adversely affect. And then this is obesity, and this is the things that it can cause. As you can see, there's stroke. It can lead to high blood pressure and related complications. There's blood vessel damage. There's heart attack or heart failure. There's kidney failure. There's many other things that come with it. And so this is just one thing to just realize: obesity is a very deadly thing. And Forbes magazine actually brought up a question: is obesity like smoking? They kind of wanted to make it personal and make people think about it on a different level. And where they're going with it is like obesity causes diseases like type 2 diabetes. It causes things like cancer. It causes things like heart disease, like strokes, like high blood pressure and cholesterol. And it also causes body aches and pains. That much weight on a person's legs or back pain, all those kind of things, it takes a toll on people. And that could lead to their inability to exercise, their inability to do physical activity that they need to do. And smoking causes diseases like cancer and heart disease and respiratory disease. And so they wanted to kind of compare it to smoking, and a thing that people look at and they're like, oh my gosh, that is so deadly. Smoking is so unhealthy. And people think eating is just something we do. And they don't really look at overeating as that big of an issue. And they wanted people to realize that by comparing it to smoking. And so where they went on this on another level is no one has classified smoking as a disease. Everyone's just like, it's a choice you make, and it's just something that you do. And that's where they're wanting people to see that obesity should not be qualified as a disease. It is a choice that people make. make. Even if you're born with some genetics that maybe incline you to be obese, you still make a choice of whether you're content with that or whether you want to do something about it. And that's where they were going with that. Could it be harmful? Could calling obesity a disease be a harmful thing? And it could lead to more obesity. Think about if health insurance starts covering obesity as a disease and they start helping people out that are obese in order to get money or in order to get help. There's going to be more obese people in the world because it's going to be looked at as an okay thing. It's going to be looked at to cheat the system and get benefits from it. It could also result in self-confidence issues. Like I told you earlier, there's not an accurate way to define obesity. And so you've got a young woman who, has a body mass index of 30 or is 20% over that weight limit, but it's muscle tone or it's, this kind of, or it's bone or water or whatever. And they're going to look at her and say, hey, you're obese. She's going to be like, what? And she's going to feel really imperfect in her body. She's going to look herself in the mirror. I think that something's wrong. She could end up starving herself if you look at worst case scenarios. And then it's going to cause an unnecessary focus. In my opinion, I think the world and the health and the doctors, experts, need to focus on cancer and a cure for cancer, finding a cure for ALS, or finding a cure for Down syndrome, or finding a cure for all these other different diseases. We don't need to be looking for a cure for obesity because we know it, we just don't want to do it. And so the cure is nutrition. Notice this does not say dieting. It does not say starve yourself or anorexia or bulimia. It says nutrition. One can eat plentiful and great tasting food that is healthy. There is no need to starve yourself or to feel like there's something wrong with you. And another cure is exercise. And it's not just in order to lose weight. And it's not in order to just get your body mass index to lower than 30 or to make your body weight be less than 20% of the limit. It's to be fit, to be strong, and be healthy. And as you look at nutrition, you've got the top of the food pyramid, which is fats, oils, and sweets, and they want you to use those very sparingly. It's not very healthy to just pile on sweets or pile on fats and oils, which is what, if you pay attention to diets and what experts have learned by watching an obese person eat, is that they do pile on sweets, they do pile on fats and oils, and then during the day they might eat those late at night before they go to bed, and they don't have time to burn that off. And then there's milk, yogurt, and cheese group, which they want you to have 2 or 3 servings a day. Drink a glass of milk, eat some yogurt, you're gonna put cheese on a sandwich, that kind of stuff. And then they want you to get your protein from meats and poultry and fish and steak and all that kind of stuff. And so they want you to have 2 or 3 servings of that. You need to have protein in your diet. You need to eat steak. You need to eat fish. A lot of doctors say that being a vegetarian isn't a really healthy thing because you need to have protein and you need to have that meat that your body feeds off of. Then you got the vegetable groups and the fruit groups, which you need to have 2 to 4 servings of. That needs to be a lot of your diet. Is fruits and vegetables to help you grow, to help your metabolism, and it's really great tasting, which is what a lot of people love about fruit. Like fruit is just really, really good tasting and people love it. And it gives your body an alternative to sugar. You don't have to get it from a candy or get it from a soft drink. You can get it from fruit. And then there's bread, cereal, your oats, and all that kind of stuff, which is going to be a majority of your diet. Every restaurant you go to has bread, or every sandwich you eat is going to have bread. There's oatmeal, and there's all kinds of different things that have bread in it. And that's why it's so hard for, like a diet like Ms. Fuente was on. It's very difficult because that is going to make up a majority of what you eat, and it's going to take away from a lot of the things that you love to eat. But sometimes it's a necessity to cure different things. And there's exercise. There's aerobic exercise, and strength, and there's flexibility. And if anyone in here has ever watched The Biggest Loser, I don't know if anyone watches that show, or Extreme Makeover Weight Loss Edition, there is different kinds of exercises that they do. It's not just making you run a mile, trying to get you to shed all this stuff. They want you to be strong. They want you to be healthy. They want you to be fit. They don't want you to just run around and try to lose weight. They want you to have an alternative motive to that. They want you to want to be healthy, to be strong, and want to set an example for people. Aerobic exercise like running and jumping and biking, and strength exercise like lifting weights and like doing other things like that. Flexibility, stretching. Stretching is very important. You want to have a flexible body that can take stress on your muscles and bones and stuff like that. Obese people, they have a very difficult time on their legs, and they're very unflexible. And because they get used to walking in the same motion and carrying all that weight. They want those to be stronger and they want those to be flexible, so they can be able to run on them and be able to do the aerobic exercises that are a necessity. And in conclusion, we need to realize that obesity is a real issue. It's a real epidemic. It's not just a thing that we should be okay with. It needs attention. It does not need sympathy, because I think they need help, and I think that it is something that a lot of times they don't have the motivation to do, or they don't have the ability to do. And eating healthy and working out can be an expensive thing. Maybe they don't have the financial ability to do it, but there's alternative ways to do that. Wake up and go walking. Just have the motivation and the desire to have a self-confidence and a love for your body. And I think that parents especially need to realize that they're setting an example for their children, or that they want to be here and to watch their children grow up, and they don't realize how deadly obesity really is. It needs to be attacked. I think obesity is something that you need to go full-fledged and attack it with nutrition and with exercise and just with motivation to be better. And it needs to be prevented. Once we let a person get obese, or we let a child get obese, or we let a child eat unhealthily, it's harder to get them out of that hole. Good habits are just as hard to break as bad habits. If one person never starts smoking, it'll be just as hard to get them smoking as it is for someone who's been smoking for 30 years. It's difficult to get them to stop smoking. Just like one person who starts eating healthy at a very young age is going to be hard to break, just as like someone who eats unhealthy at a very young age eats the rest of their life. It needs to be prevented. That's the main way we need to attack it. And so, can obesity be called a disease? Yes, it can. Should it be called a disease? No, it shouldn't. And what's the answer? It needs to be prevented with nutrition and exercise. And that's my view on obesity.